Hi, I'm Dawn with One Street Consulting, and today we are going to talk about custom fields and custom field sets in Clio Manage. Why is this important? Because you want to collect data at the beginning of a client journey and have that data travel with you and with the client throughout their journey with your law firm. If you have Clio Grow, you want to collect as much data as you possibly can from a client in an intake form or initial phone call, and you want to be able to use that information to know the details of a case, have those details at your fingertips, and also push that data into documents if you need to do that. So let's get started. The first thing we want to do is go into settings, and we're going to go into custom fields. And what you're going to notice immediately is I don't have any custom fields. Why is that? This is a brand new account. We're setting it up just for you. So the very first thing we want to do is let's just talk about our practice areas. So we have set up in our demo account some practice areas, and today I think we'll work on personal injury. So personal injury custom fields are really important. We want to start thinking about what custom fields we would want to build in a personal injury case. So right off the bat, I would want to know the date of loss or the date of accident. Those are, to me, they're the same thing, but to you, they might be two different things. But I'm going to call it the date of accident. And I'm going to choose a date type custom field. Now, I'm not going to choose default or required because I'm going to build a field set and I'm going to apply that field set only to personal injury matters. So I'm going to do date of accident. I'm going to do types or client injury description. Now this one I'm going to create as a paragraph, which is a text multi-line field. I'm going to connect this and the date of accident over to Clio Grow. I'm also going to do opposing counsel. And for this one, I'm going to do a contact select. What that means is I'm going to be able to pull a contact that's within Clio to the matter level so I can see all the details of that contact, and I can also create a document with that. All right, what else would I want to get if I'm looking at a date of accident? Perhaps I'm looking at insurance carrier. That would also be a contact select. So if I have an insurance company in my Clio database, contact database, I want to be able to pull that contact in. And then let's say claim number. That's a pretty important one, but we'll do a text one line, text single line for this because it might contain numbers and letters and we don't want to limit our ability to enter information. So what we have right now on the screen is a pretty narrow list of custom fields. We certainly can expand on that, but for purposes of today's video, we're just starting out creating simple data that we want to use in the life of our case. So let's create a field set. We're going to call this field set personal injury. So we'll just add that here. And this personal injury field set is going to be attached to all personal injury matters moving forward. So now I'm just going to create my field set by selecting those fields that I want to use in this field set. Again, I'm not setting it as a default, and I'm just going to click Save here. So now if I have a personal injury matter, I can attach this field set to that specific matter type and have that data at my fingertips. So that's a very simple overview of how we would create a custom field set in Clio Manage, but how do we connect it to Clio Grow? So the very first thing you need to know is create all of your custom fields in Clio Manage. Do not create any custom fields in Clio Grow because you cannot connect a custom field from Clio Grow to Manage. You can only connect custom fields from Manage to Grow. So let's go into Clio Grow and take a look at what we get when we first sign up for Clio Grow. If we go into settings, we go into custom fields. You can see there are some custom fields that are already associated with Clio Grow. And these are not custom fields that I'm actually going to use because they are not connected to Clio Manage. They came with my Clio Grow account, and I'm just going to get rid of these because they are not useful. Now, I'll show you how I know they're not useful. If I sync my Clio Manage custom fields over from Clio Manage into Clio Grow, what you see happen here is on the matter fields, you can see there's a little check mark. That check mark means those custom fields were created in Clio Manage and they've synced over to Clio Grow. That means if I attach this custom field to an intake form, Any data collected from this field is automatically going to be pushed to Clio Manage when that matter is pushed to Clio Manage. So that's just really important information for you to have there. Just remember that you want to use the fields that have the check mark. So a lot of times I'll just go in and delete these. I don't need them here. And if I needed contact fields, I would create those in Clio Manage first and then sync them over to Clio Manage. But for now, I have date of accident, client injury, and claim number. Now, what's missing? Those contact select fields, because we cannot connect contacts from Clio Grow to Manage except in a very limited form. So typically, we would collect contact information for our client and some related contacts. But we'll talk about that in latter videos. For today, we're just going to talk about these fields that we can connect. Okay, so we've talked about how to create a custom field. We've talked about how to create custom field sets, and we've talked about how to connect those custom fields to Clio Grow. In the next video, we're going to expand a little bit further and talk about intake forms. So we'll see you on that next video.